Ms. Snyder?
In regards to what was being said about the 180, when that first came up, Terry, it was explained that if someone was going to be having some kind of like surgery, or if there was an illness or whatever, that was what would be taken into consideration to allow them to exceed the 180. That's all that was said, but I don't see anything in here on it, so I don't know what happened to it, but that was the original situation.
Ms. Green?
My understanding was in 2001, tourist lodging was banned in R1, and they allowed B&Bs for the simple thing, they were home-based businesses with somebody on premise. Now, Bob, if someone goes away for a weekend, who's going to catch them? Who's going to say? Their intentions are they're living there. But if they're not going to live there or have a manager live there, then they're running a tourist lodging on a B&B license. And that's the thing that planning has struggled with for years.
Ms. Harmon?
They're changing the definition so that it reads in more than one place the same way. As far as why are we changing it if we know that people are already not following the guidelines? I mean, if we know there's a problem, we should always fix it, right? So if we fix it now, then those same people, or maybe a new person coming in, won't say, well, it says this here and it says this here. We absolutely have to change it. They've already identified the issue that is in front of them, is that people are interpreting these paragraphs or these definitions in different ways. So we know it's happened. We know that there is an issue here within the code book. So our duty is to change it. And I think, that's what they're trying to do. And I appreciate them finding the issue before it becomes, another problem, not only for them, but for us in the future.
Mr. Thomas?
Well, in that case, I would propose the amendment that we eliminate, if you look under the new bed and breakfast, just eliminate the last two sentences and keep the first one.
I'm sorry, can you would you speak a little
Yeah.
bit better into the microphone?
If you, under this bed and breakfast, keep the first sentence, that evidently fixes this problem of the two definitions above, but then you don't need the second and third sentence, saying that they're going to be there whenever it's open for business, and they must certify that each year.
I can't tell which one he's looking at.
Read it the way you want it, Bob. We don't-
Read it the way I want it. Under bed and breakfast, it would say, a dwelling or area containing one or more structures, at least one of which is occupied by an owner or manager on site, where for compensation, lodging and meals are provided, generally not more than 5 units, period.
In other words, you're eliminating the certification that the owner or resident will occupy the premise when the lodging is open for business.
I would not ever sign that, because I would know that if I had to go out of town next Saturday because my son got hurt in a car accident, I would ask my next door neighbor to please come over and fix breakfast, and I would be violating this law. Now, you can say, oh, it's okay if you can violate the law for one day or two, but why pass a law that doesn't work?
All right, we got a motion to amend this. Do I hear a second?
You already got a second?
No, this is on.
Oh, this is a new amendment? Okay.
Okay, I hear no second.
I'm confused.
All right. Further comments? Ms. Green?
I understand what Bob's saying, but if we took those out, Bob, that would just turn it into a tourist lodging.
No, it says occupied by an owner or manager on site. But there's a difference between saying, I occupy this house and next Saturday I'm going to be gone. There's a difference between those two statements.
Ms. Snyder?
Yeah, but Bob, if you're out of town for the weekend, you're not going to be open for business. Right?
people go out of town for emergencies.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, so if you're out of town, you're not going to be open for business.
Okay.
So all they're saying is when you're open for business, somebody will be there.
Mr. McClung?
Okay, if I have a bed and breakfast,
I have one.
okay, Susan has one.
I had one.
Susan has one, and she has to go out of town for 3-4 days, and she doesn't want to close her place. So she calls me and says, Terry, can you come watch my place for 3-4 days as an employee? You bet. So I'd be the on-site
He
manager
qualifies.
fixing breakfast and whatever. 2 weeks later, she may have to go out of town again, and I can't do it, but she gets Bob, calls, Bob, can you watch my place and fix breakfast for my people? Well, so he's got to go pick it up someplace and bring it back. That's still legit. So,
Yeah, that
so I
works.
mean, I think it's okay, Bob, that, you know, that if it's owner occupied or if it's manager run, that somebody can fill in those shoes to prepare the meals, clean the rooms, and you are a resident manager, you know, on a temporary basis to do that. Whether you sleep there or not may not be consequential, you know, for 1 or 2 nights or whatever, but that's, I think you're picking hairs.
Well,
Fran.
Mr.
Ms.
Sure.
Harmon?
I think, and maybe I'm completely wrong, and I know we've talked about this probably way too long already, but I think maybe what I'm seeing you think is that you have to actually give a name. You don't. All you have to do is certify that you will be a responsible business owner, and you will make sure that if there is a guest staying at your place, in my case, my bed and breakfast, I never want anyone to stay at my bed and breakfast unless they are able to get a hold of someone on site. And what that means is, it may be like Terry said, it might be you 1 week, it might be Melissa 1 week, it might be Mickey the next week, but I am responsible as an owner to make sure that those guests have someone that they can contact, that they can reach on, that is on site in case they have an issue. And that's it.
Mr. Thomas?
I just want to clarify what I understood Mr. McClung to say. If Susan says, I'm going out of town for 2 days, Bob, will you watch my place? And I go over there in the morning, fix breakfast, and I go home and do, you know, hang out at my house and stuff. And then I go back that afternoon to see if everything's okay. That would be occupying the premises if I don't sleep there.
If it were my business, I would want them to sleep there.
Well, that's fine.
And I would
but I'm-
want
but
you to be on call.
if I vote for this based on what Mr. McClung said,
Well-
I want to be sure I'm clear what he said, that the person doesn't have to stay there, they don't have to sleep there,
Well, then it's a tourist lodging.
not if
And
they're
that-
furnishing breakfast.
Then
Oh,
it's a
come on.
tourist lodging if you're not on the premises.
One weekend of the
It
year.
doesn't matter, Bob. If you're not on the premises, it's a tourist lodging.
Yeah, I have to vote against
So-
that. Sorry.
All right.
I would like to get clarification too on the on-site part of this. The way that I understand it, that anybody that's already in business, as of today, shall be legally non-conforming for the purposes of on-site, and they can continue to do what they've done all along.
Grandfather.
Your grandfather.
See, I don't personally agree with that.
Well, I don't agree with,
We have to.
Oh, wait a minute.
I just want the definition changed.
They do end up being grandfathered because we're changing the rules in the middle of the stream. So, Ms. Snyder?
Basically, what they're doing is, they had made it law that you could be adjoining, living like in a little house adjoining your B and B. That's what's being changed. So the people who went ahead and started a B and B, living in an adjoining house, it wouldn't be fair, right, or legal to say, well, we're changing the rules now, so you're just up the creek. We
I
can't do
don't
that. So
understand that.
that's what this is.
I don't agree with that, but what
That's-
I'm saying is the neighbor next door can't be the resident manager and live next door.
No, they're talking about adjoining, where you live adjoining
If that,
property.
okay, because for the ones that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing now, to me, this indicates that they can just continue doing what they're
Yeah,
not
no, they're
supposed to.
talking about where it's set up to where you can live and own. I don't remember if there's a thing in there that says, now, if you do any changes, you automatically lose grandfather and have to obey the new rules. That's normally what's done.
Right.
All right, you got any further comments, questions? Ms. Green?
I think, Ann, what that would do if we grandfather them, when and if they sell it, and there's a new cup issued, the new cup would be under the new rules.
Yeah,
Would be based
So-
on the date.
Yes,
right,
yeah. So I think,
That's acceptable.
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Carrie had a motion on the table.
There is a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion,
Can we restate it, please?
To
I'm
approve
sorry, what?
the recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah, the motion was to approve the changes as referred by the planning commission to give to our city attorney to bring into an ordinance. So, Mr. McClung?
Just remind everyone that this has to come up for a vote because it's an ordinance change. So this is just so we can prepare that, so this will get to be discussed again.
Yeah.
True. All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No?
5-1.
Was that Mr. Meyer?
Bob?
No?
It was
Mr. Thomas?
Mr. Thomas.
Okay. Thank you.
The guy with the mustache.
All right, we got
Can't wait for Tom.
an appeal of the temporary entertainment district application denial. We have, get a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Thanks, Ann.
Second,
Bye.
Bye.
You the second?
second. Susie.
Yeah. Mr. Stephen Rogers of Nick's Cafe up the street asked me to, or filed an application for an entertainment district, temporary entertainment district, that was basically the same district as the permanent district that came before us that we approved. With the same hours, there really wasn't any changes. This is basically what they were doing was becoming, instead of permanent, was going to become a temporary. I'm assuming until the election. It didn't say, I don't know whether we got a permanent date.
Yes, there are dates.
Yes, to September 13th.
Wait a minute, what? Try this
July
again?
9th to September 13th was the dates that they were wanting this district to run. I denied the application based on the fact that after discussion with the chief of police and also the public works, that with our budget constraints that we've had, that we just, at this point in time, we couldn't afford the downtown police or the necessary cleanup that this district would require and create. So based on that, I went ahead and denied the application. Part of that, the denial is, in our ordinance, he has the right to appeal to the city council for approval. And that's what basically he's done. Mr. Thomas?
And trim this. It's not as large as it was.
It wasn't quite as large. It just went up to the post office, I think DeBruce.
It
Go ahead.
takes out the sector that includes Rogues, and it takes out the arm that goes up to Main Street.
Yeah. So, Mr. Thomas, did you have your hand up?
Yes, I did. I believe that what they've submitted tonight, they have changed the boundaries, and they've also changed the operating time. So that's not really an appeal of the application that they submitted to you. So this basically is kind of a different application that has not been viewed by the police chief or by the Public Works Department, or I don't know if it's been reviewed by you or not. But, so I think it needs to just be tabled permanently or whatever, and if they want to submit a new application to you with this boundary and this time, then it should go through the regular process.
Ms. Harmon?
I just have a question because I mean, I'm not trying to be, disrespectful or anything, but if the reason, I mean, I sat in the entertainment district discussions, and I thought that we discussed over and over that it would not require additional police, and/or we didn't feel at that time we'd have excessive cleanup. So
It would,
I guess I'm surprised that that's why we're denying it at this time. Remember those discussions we
yeah,
had?
do you remember we're in the budget crunch and we've
No,
reduced
I
and we've
absolutely
reduced our
understand that.
employees and we've reduced the
Yep.
pickups in the park and we've reduced the people being downtown.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that that's how it's worded after having all those
If we hadn't
discussions
had the
before.
budget problem, we wouldn't be in this. Mr. McClung?
This application is dated June 5th. 6/5/20, that's the signature on it. So have you officially denied this?
The ones
This is a
that I-
rework.
Well, the letters.
That's what I have in front of me.
of May.
Application for temporary entertainment district, on page 3, where it calls for the signature, it's
6/5.
dated 6/5/20.
It's a new application.
Changed it
Well,
to deal
yeah,
with your objections.
the inception date is July 9th, so
He changed this. It's actually, you're right, and this has been changed, which has now been brought to my attention by you guys. It's actually a new application. The application that he originally submitted was dated a different date.
Mid-May.
do you wish to reexamine this and bring it back to the next meeting? That be the appropriate procedure?
Technically, that's the appropriate thing to do, so I think what we need to do is defer this until the next meeting, or until
You approve or reject?
approval or rejection.
So is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to defer this until our next meeting so it can be reviewed again as it appears to be a new application.
It is a new application, and I apologize.
And I will second that.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Was there any discussion of that motion?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
hands are up.
I believe that motion is going to bring it back to the table in 2 weeks. The motion that I would suggest would be that you review this as a new application, and it starts the process tomorrow when you look at it. It may or may not come back to council.
May I point something out?
Well, Madam
The 6-page ordinance that established the temporary and permanent entertainment districts has a phrase in there, non-refundable $100 application. If that's the path you take, they lose the $100 and have to come up with another $100. I'm just wondering if you were aware of the non-refundable part.
The mayor has already offered to refund their money.
Say again?
The mayor has offered in his letter to refund their money. It's the last.
Well, it's
thing.
in code.
I believe also for approval, it's got to come before the council anyway for a temporary district. Isn't that true?
Be done by resolution, yes.
So one way or the other, it's going to come back before the council.
Okay.
Not if you deny it.
And if they appeal it,
If he approves it, it doesn't come back to us.
it does as a resolution.
As a
The
resolution.
council needs to have a resolution.
Well, okay,
Mr.
in
Mayor?
that respect.
If they've given you the $100, they've submitted this thing, you've rejected it, now it's here, an appeal, I'm assuming they're just appealing what they submitted to you, and I would say that we need to vote to reject this appeal, and then they can come up with a new one.
What is before you is not
It's not current.
what I had denied.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And I thought that it was, and I wasn't aware that he had revised his temporary entertainment district on here.
So we
Mr.
have a
Thomas?
motion. Okay,
Yes, I make a motion to deny this appeal because it is not the application that was denied by the mayor. It is not the application for a temporary entertainment district that was denied by the mayor. So therefore, we should deny this appeal.
I'll second that.
Didn't we already do something?
yes, there's already a motion on the table.
That I thought we passed. We
No, we
voted on.
didn't vote.
No,
No, we didn't get a vote
We
on it.
didn't vote.
no,
Amend it?
Let's start from scratch. What was your motion?
to defer until
We've
the...
got a
Okay.
motion, yeah.
So one's a defer and one's a deny?
The motion, Mr. McClung, you make the motion, Mr. McClung?
I don't remember if I did, no.
Oh,
Susan
So
made
you
a
did.
motion to defer until the next meeting.
Uh,
And the basis is that we don't have the correct information in front of us,
right.
so.
Well, this is a new application that I have not acted on, and I have to either approve it or to deny it before the council can do anything.
So let's
So
pretend
it
it's
really,
not
at
here.
this point in time, shouldn't even be on table. Mr. Thomas?
Well, it is on the table, so we do have to act on it. So again, I would make the motion that we deny this appeal because it's not the application that you denied.
Oh, okay, the original appeal, correct.
He just wants a paper trail.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
pardon me, but Ms. Harmon made a motion
Right,
Yeah,
that
You're right.
table it until the next meeting, and it was voted on.
No, we didn't.
we didn't
Yeah, we
vote.
did.
no, there actually was no vote, Jerry.
No.
No. we
but her motion does take precedence over
Right.
any other motion.
So I'd take away my second to Bob's
Well,
motion.
what happened to it, I remember saying yes.
No, but it does take precedence because it's a motion to defer, and that takes precedence over other motions. Mr. Thomas?
Then I move to amend Ms. Harmon's motion to read that we deny this appeal because they are not appealing the application that the mayor denied. They are submitting a new application.
Okay, no, second.
I'll second that, Bob.
Okay, whomever.
So what happens to the first motion?
Bob, would you rephrase your amendment, please, sir?
Yes. I'm amending Ms. Harmon's motion to read that we deny this appeal because they are appealing a decision based not on the application that they have before us tonight.
I'm not sure that we can amend a motion to defer with the motion to deny.
Let's ask Tim.
Mr. Weaver, are you following this discussion?
Yeah,
I don't blame you, Mr. Weaver.
I've got
your
it.
motion to table takes precedent over all of it. Bob can't amend the motion to table. You're gonna have to vote on the motion to table or withdraw it and go on from there.
So I'm correct in, we have to vote on the motion to defer this. You cannot amend a motion to defer.